Will Mark Zuckerberg face Elon Musk in the Octagon? This and more in today's MMA weekly news wrap-up. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA. Let's wrap up all the important MMA news that happened this week. By the way guys, new merch collection live now, so go check it out and get your pieces. So to start, Mark Zuckerberg trained with BJJ superstar Mikey Musumeci. Mikey Musumeci, the no-gi champion, there's no gi there, but no-gi champion, grappling champion in one championship, a BJJ legend, one of the best to ever do it in his weight class. And he trained with Mark Zuckerberg. For those of you who don't know, Mark Zuckerberg trains martial arts since quite some time now. He's deeply into BJJ. He really enjoys it, and he's switching over to MMA now. And he even said in the post with Mikey Musumeci that they are both kind of preparing for their first MMA fight. So there is the possibility that Mark Zuckerberg will eventually fight in MMA. He already has some BJJ tournaments where he competed. I think he competes regularly, but he wants to transition over to MMA, which would be crazy, especially for a guy of his wealth. That's kind of crazy, but it's beautiful that he fell in love with the sport that we all love, right? And there's an interesting thing now. So I don't know if it was in an interview, but Elon Musk came out and said, hey, if Mark Zuckerberg wants to fight in the cage, I'm down. Mark Zuckerberg, no joke now, made a screenshot of this tweet, posted it in his Instagram story and said, send me location. Mark Zuckerberg really quoted Khabib Nurmagomedov with that, which is kind of crazy.
Please, just send me location. Send me location.
It's beautiful for our sport because this exposes our sport a lot, especially to the weak left people that are like, this sport is too dangerous and stuff. I think that's beautiful.
I don't feel canceled. Do you feel canceled?
Well, Dana White talked to both people, to Mark Zuckerberg and to Elon Musk. Dana White said he had a phone call with both of them in one night. And they both said they were 100% serious about this. They really want to fight. Could you imagine them in the UFC cage? That would be phenomenal. And there even is a betting line already. The betting line is Mark Zuckerberg is a -500 favorite and Elon Musk a +300 underdog. So the facts are that Elon Musk is not a trained martial artist, whilst Mark Zuckerberg is right now kind of a trained martial artist. He trains martial arts since over a year, which would be a trained martial artist in some regard, you know what I mean? Which makes him the huge favorite. But what calms it a little bit down is that I think Mark Zuckerberg is like 5'8" or something, 5'9", and Elon Musk is like 6'3" reportedly. So there's a huge height difference. But this will be a fun fight. This will phenomenal. So the next news is Conor McGregor and Dillon Danis are reunited. If you don't know, Dillon Danis is the guy that's very controversial. He always calls everyone out. He says it can beat John Jones, blah, blah, blah. A phenomenal grappler, a jiu-jitsu black belt who coached McGregor, was McGregor's, not coach, let's say, main sparring partner in terms of grappling for the Khabib fight. So he got famous there, kind of. And they were not together anymore for years. You haven't heard anything of them together. And now they train again together in an underground gym in New York. They did some sparring together as well. Conor released some sparring footage. You saw some pictures of them chilling and laughing. Pretty cool, I have to say. You can hate them or love them, but they're a pretty cool team. So good to see that. Good to see them back training together. Then Alistair Overeem. There's a picture that came out of Alistair. Alistair met with the Ryzen CEO. Ryzen is a combat sports promotion. And Alistair looks very slim in there. Now for the context for you guys, Alistair fought Badr Hari in Glory, was it beginning of this year, don't even remember, won this fight. Then the fight got overturned because Overeem got tested positive for steroids. Overeem is like, if you look at old pictures of him, he's been on steroids for forever. Probably for the UFC made a pause, and then for Glory again, he looked crazy huge again, probably thought there will be no testing there, but got tested positive. And now it looks like he's completely off everything because he looks like he's going to challenge Alexander Volkanovski in featherweight. Pretty interesting and kind of shocking picture for some people. A little side story, Khamzat Chimaev, the Swedish MMA fighter, Swedish/Chechen MMA fighter, met with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, a soccer, football, whatever you want to call it, legend, just retired. this end of the season. And he came over to Hamzat's gym, All-Stars gym in Sweden, in Stockholm, brought him a signed t-shirt of him, they chilled together, I think they even trained together. Pretty cool. As I said, always good if our sport gets more exposure to normal people. Conor McGregor and Wonderboy, if you don't watch The Ultimate Fighter, the 4th episode came out of The Ultimate Fighter with Conor and Chandler, and Conor had a guest coach, which was Wonderboy. So he invited Wonderboy, they're both from the same management, that's why it makes sense. He invited him, and Wonderboy did a training session with the guys of Conor, and Conor also trained with them. And there's also now footage of them talking a little bit backstage with each other. They had some nice interactions, seemed to really like each other. And as a fan of both of them, that's really cool to see. Staying with Conor McGregor, to follow up on last week's topic about the rape accusations, which now seems to be more and more of a joke. The more details that come out, the more it doesn't make sense what she says. Conor McGregor's rape accuser claims NBA offered her $100K to keep quiet about alleged incident at Miami Heat's arena. Yeah, you know my opinion already from last week. There's also a video now that came out with them chilling together after the incident in the club. Chilling, drinking together, which makes a lot of sense, of course, if someone rapes you, that you chill with him in a bar and drink some drinks with him afterwards. I would do that as well, Kappa. Staying with Conor McGregor again. McGregor is in the headlines a lot. So McGregor missed the deadline for his voluntary USADA testing sample. So the deadline happened, he didn't submit any testing samples, which means that Conor can't fight in the year 2023. Which means the Chandler fight, if it happens, will definitely not happen this year. So I think Dana's probably pissed. The fans are pissed. Chandler's pissed. I am kind of pissed as a big Conor fan. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what the thing is, what the reasonings are. I have no clue if he will ever fight again. We don't know. We shall see. Yeah, only the best for the legend. Khamzat Chimaev allegedly asked the UFC to fight on the UFC Paris card, which is in September, and then also in October, 1 month later, in the Abu Dhabi card, which would be kind of crazy. And I don't think the UFC will do that, because why should they book 2 fights? Khamzat is not fighting any cans anymore, so they don't know what will happen to him. You can't book 2 fights together of the same guy, you know what I mean? But that's good promo for him. Good promo for him to be that guy that asks to fight anybody all the time. Then we have, for the end, some nice matchups that have been announced this week. Let's start with the big one. Alexa Grasso, the current champion, against Valentina Shevchenko 2. She lost to Grasso Shevchenko by choke. And the rematch is in the works. It's about to headline the UFC card on September 16th, which would be the Mexican Independence Day. Alexa Grasso is Mexican, so that would make a lot of sense and would be cool. There is no arena set or anything, but most definitely will happen in Las Vegas, Nevada. Another matchup that was announced this week is Kai Kara-France versus Manel Kape, September 10th in Australia, in Sydney. So that's the first big fight for this card. And Kai Kara-France with a quick turnaround after the robbery decision that he lost, unfortunately, against Amir Albazi. Manel Kape, a very dangerous guy, so this will be a tough matchup. This will be a fun one. This will be a banger, so you better tune into that. Song Yadong versus Rob Font. Phenomenal matchup. 2 insanely good boxers, 2 guys who like to stay in the pocket and trade there. This will be a fight of the night matchup. Honestly, this will be a phenomenal fight. I can't wait for that. This will happen at UFC 292 in Boston, the Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Eltrain Sterling card. So Chris Curtis versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, one of my favorite fighters, is announced, a middleweight bout for September 16th. That's a very fun fight. That will definitely be a fight of the night contender as well. It's really a banger, and I can't wait for the fight. The last fight announcement is outside of the UFC, between 2 UFC legends though, which is kind of a sad fight announcement if I have to be honest. It's former UFC fighters Fabrizio Verdum, a legend, which is very old though, against Junior Dos Santos, is announced for a bare knuckle fight. I don't like that, guys. I'm not a fan at all if 2 legends go into a bare knuckle fight. They have enough brain damage already, especially Verdum. I think Dos Santos will absolutely demolish him. Dos Santos just fought like 1.5 years ago in Eagle FC, dislocated his shoulder as far as I remember, but otherwise looked very good in that fight. So I think this will be a not too good matchup that will end bad for Werdum, but we'll see. We shall see. So that was it for the news of this week. What was the craziest news from this week? Write it in the comments, guys. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel to not miss another episode of the news or any other videos that I do all the time. So click the bell, and most importantly, guys, that you always stay healthy, eat your vegetables and eat your fruits. Until next time, guys, bye-bye. Lots for that.